Welcome everyone to my picks and analysis for FIFA Men's World Cup Qatar 2022 Group G. Very interesting group. It always is when Brazil is involved. Brazil, Serbia, Cameroon and Switzerland. I'll give my picks and analysis as to which two teams will go through and how the group may unfold, and my predictions for the two teams to progress a bit later. Let's get underway with a look at Serbia. Serbia enter the 2022 World Cup as a team on a mission. It's their third appearance as a standalone nation. They went out in the group stages in 2018 under very controversial circumstances, you may remember. In that group with Brazil, Switzerland and Costa Rica, facing Brazil and Switzerland again in 2022. They'll be hoping for a different outcome this time. Ask any Serbian fan about Serbia's prospects in this tournament and they will talk about redemption, revenge, righting the wrongs of 2018. They were beaten by a Swiss side who employed some pretty questionable tactics in the second group game. A game which featured probably the worst, most blatant non-penalty I've ever seen in a modern World Cup. I'll put that in the description, a link to that, the YouTube video. You can have a look and judge for yourself. So Serbia chomping at the bit for another crack at the World Cup, and particularly another crack at Switzerland, the Swiss. The man of that moment in 2018, Alexander Mitrovic, is back, and he's back bigger and better than he was back then. 4 years on, mature player, on the top of his game with Fulham at the moment. 9 goals in the Premier League this season. A lot to like about Mitrovic. Old-fashioned centre forward. Likes to let the centre-backs know pretty early in the game they're in for a tough afternoon. He will bully, and I'm sure he's studying the defensive lineups for Brazil, Cameroon and particularly Switzerland to figure out which of the defenders he's going to bully when those games get underway. This time alongside Mitrovic in attack, Dusan Vlahovic banging in the goals for Juventus, having a pretty good couple of seasons there, and I think he will ably support Mitrovic. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, the Lazio midfielder, will pull the strings for Serbia. Some questions about what's happening at the back. The Serbian defence a bit leaky, and in fact a lot of goals in recent fixtures, averaging more than 3.5 goals in their last 11. Facing Brazil in their first group game, and I dare say there'll be a lot of goals in that game too. Serbia had a pretty successful qualification, unbeaten through qualifying and with the group including Portugal and Ireland. 9 fixtures since then, a mixed bag, losses to Denmark and Norway, wins over non-qualifiers Sweden and Hungary. How will they do? Well, we'll see how things go in that first game against Brazil, and then the eagerly anticipated rematch with Switzerland. And would be nice to see Serbia go through. Good luck to them, and my predictions a bit later in the video. And Brazil, the elephant in the room in Group G. 22nd World Cup. In fact, they've appeared at all World Cups. They're the only team to do so. And of course, 5-time winners, record winners. They've won the most World Cups: 1958, 1962, 1970, 94 and 2002. A bit of a while ago now. 2018, they were beaten, quarter-finalists, sent packing by a highly fancied Belgian side. They'll be wanting to improve on that performance in 2022. They go in as the #1 ranked team in FIFA, replacing Belgium. Very strong, haven't lost a game since the Copa America final against Argentina last year. 14 games unbeaten in that time. In the process, scoring 38 goals, conceding just 5. Fantastic form going into the tournament. First up, they have Serbia, followed by Switzerland, which is very interesting because Brazil have not played a European team for more than 3 years. owing to schedule quirks, and there's some speculation, or maybe a question mark, how they'll fare against European opposition, if that can be regarded as a weakness. So somewhat of a mystery side in that respect, how they will handle European opponents. Looking at the squad though, absolutely oozing in speed, talent, strength. It's a wonderful squad, fast, frenetic, fantastic, frightening. A lot of F words in there, I apologise for that. But one F word missing from the Brazil squad is Roberto Firmino, considered surplus to requirements. Not for any negative reason, it's just that's how strong Brazil are and the riches at their disposal. No fewer than 9 strikers named in the Brazilian lineup. The squad list is just incredible, really. Neymar, Richarlison, Rafinha, the Arsenal duo, Jesus and Martinelli. Muscular midfield, Casemiro, Fred, Bruno Guimaraes. I don't know how any team's going to penetrate that midfield. It's going to be interesting and intriguing to see how the European teams approach them. And that's not even mentioning the defence, if a team manages to get that far. A shout out in the defence though to legends Thiago Silva and Dani Alves, 38 and 39 years old, the 2 oldest defenders ever to appear for Brazil in a World Cup. I suggest they'll be used as substitutes to help Brazil protect narrow leads in some of their fixtures. Don't expect to see them with Brazil chasing goals or chasing any games. How will they do? Well, they're one of the favourites, if not the favourites for the tournament. Be very interesting to see how they do when they finally take on European opposition in Serbia. Aleksandar Mitrovic's Serbia in the first game. It's going to be great, going to be exciting. Good luck to Brazil. My predictions a bit later. Cameroon line up at the World Cup for their 8th appearance, the most of any African nation, actually 2 more than any of their continental counterparts. A long and storied history in the tournament. Who could forget 1990 went out in the quarterfinals to England, one of the best knockout matches in World Cup history. Fantastic game, Roger Miller, remembering that one. Made it through qualifying at the expense of Algeria and then Ivory Coast in the playoffs. 5 games since qualifying, just the solitary win, unfortunately for Cameroon, a win over Burundi, though I'm not sure that's something to write home about. It's a bit of a rebuilding phase for Cameroon. Not a great deal expected in the tournament unless you're the most ardent Cameroon supporter. Neutrals not expecting Cameroon to go far, but anything can happen. They're going through a bit of a rebuilding stage, and in fact they could have the youngest starting 11, depending on who they name in their opening fixture against Switzerland. After that, matches against Serbia and Brazil. Anything can happen. We'll see how they do. It's going to be tough. Notable players, one familiar name. Fans of Brentford, the Bees and the Premier League, disappointed that Ivan Toney didn't make the England squad. We'll have a team to cheer for. Brian Mbeumo will be lining up in the attack for Cameroon. He'll be a very vital player for them. How will Cameroon do? Well, it's going to be an uphill battle. They will give it their all. They could cause a shock, as they did. The mother of all shocks, beating Argentina in the opening game in 1990. Could we see something similar again? Good luck to them, and my predictions a bit later. On to Switzerland, making their 12th appearance in the World Cup. Long history in the tournament. History being the key word when we look at their best performances. Quarterfinalists 1934, 1938, 1954. A bit of a while ago now. Switzerland will be wanting to return to those levels in this tournament, 2022. Last tournament, 2018, they came pretty close. Went out in the round of 16 to Sweden, coming through a group which included Serbia and Brazil, 2 of their opponents this time around. Came through qualifying very impressively, topping a group which included Italy, sending them packing, only conceding 2 goals all through qualifying. A very miserly Swiss defence. In the 9 fixtures since, a bit of a mixed bag. lost to England, lost to Ghana, thrashed by Portugal. Did get revenge on Portugal in another fixture and also beat Spain. Bit of a mixed bag, but some things to go on, some positives in there. The Swiss style, and that's the most interesting thing about this team. We think of Switzerland, we think of mountain vistas, neutrality, fairness, friendly folks, and all that kind of thing. Take that, turn it on its head, and then you've got the Swiss national side. They play nasty, they win ugly, tactical fouls. In modern football with the dark arts, Switzerland are the masters, and the fans love them for it, and it makes them hard to beat. Very strong side with a good defence. Now, captained by Granit Xhaka from Arsenal, and Premier League fans will also be familiar with Xherdan Shaqiri, also in midfield. In the defence, Man City new starting regular Manuel Akanji will line up alongside Fabian Schär from the Magpies. If there's anything that's a bit worrying for Switzerland, they're a bit light up top, and that may be an issue when they face Serbia and Cameroon. We'll need some goals, but we're wondering where the goals are coming from. That said, they got through the group last time. They were written off by a few people. They will be very competitive this time around. They'll be eyeing that fixture with Serbia as vital to going through. Let's see how they do. They've also got matches against Cameroon and the tough one against Brazil, who they drew with last World Cup. So best of luck to Switzerland. Let's see how they do. My predictions a bit later. So in the final look at Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland and Cameroon, I'm going to go for Brazil, no surprises there, to top the group, and I'm going to go for Serbia to finish in second spot ahead of Switzerland and Cameroon. Well, that just about does it for Group G, the group of Brazil, alongside Serbia, Cameroon and Switzerland. Best of luck to all four teams. Be interesting to see who goes through. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.